Kajabi launched a really cool feature earlier this year when they introduced their shopping cart. It's called Modals, and what it allows you to do is pop up boxes on the page like this so that people can see extra information without having to leave your page. It works really well if you do have a cart and you've got limited places to add info. It also works really well if you're doing something like a podcast and you want people to be able to listen to it right away. You can embed that podcast and it pops up a box rather than directing someone to a different site. You can add videos, anything that you can put within an embed code can go in there. You can use those modals for pop-ups for things like booking calls and link out to additional calendaring sites. There is lots of options, and I'm going to show you how you can use modals and set them up on your Kajabi landing pages and throughout your Kajabi website. So firstly, to use modals, it's very, very easy. It is connected to anything where there is an action, like an image action or a button action. So in this situation where I've got this podcast here, I have got an image on the page and I want to select the image action. So I'm going to scroll through the list of options, which is growing ever longer, which is very, very cool. And I'm going to go to this option, which is open a modal. I can also do the same thing for anywhere where there is a call to action button. So if you've got a text box or anywhere where you have that button action, you can also use it for that. So in this case, we've got an include call to action, and the button action is open a modal. So again, we just go to the list of actions that that button can do, and we are going to open the modal. Now, because this image and this button is within the same block, we just need to adjust that modal image in one place. We come down to the action modal. If you have an image block and a button block separate, then you just need to do that separately on each block. But the feature blocks allow us to do it all in the same. So the action modal is where you actually put the information that you would like to show up on the modal. If you want to see what it's going to look like on the page, you can actually click edit modal. Do bear in mind, just like the pop-ups through the rest of Kajabi, if it sticks on the page and it isn't going away, you'll have to uncheck it. So when you bring up edit modal, it's just going to take a sec. You're going to see what is inside the modal. It just loaded the background color first. But when you click on the X, it is not going to go away. So do just remember to uncheck that box if you want to get rid of it on the page. But this is where you can use this area for text. In this situation, I have embedded a podcast episode. We've got this option here where I'm actually showing a text area, and I've put an image inside it so that you can have kind of anything that you want within that modal box. And if you are clever with ChatGPT, then you can do some additional things in terms of formatting. Anything with HTML formatting will be able to be applied to this box. It's essentially a text box in Kajabi that only shows when someone clicks on a button to make it show. But let's come back to this podcast episode here. So this is embedded. So what I've done is come to the source code, and I've actually just embedded that source code from the podcast episode. Anything that has an embed code you can add. You could put a YouTube video. You could embed videos from a different video hosting platform if you wanted to have something showing up separately, like Wistia or Vimeo, even a YouTube video if you wanted to. You can also embed things like calendar links. So anything where you've got that embed code, you can cut and paste it into here. So it will only show up when someone actually clicks on the button to make it show up. So it's a really, really handy feature. And like I said, you can have it as a button action or an image, and then just find this action modal to choose the content that is actually going to go in here. In this situation, I have changed the background color so that it's showing up in my darker brand color, but you've got the options, all normal color options that you can have showing up here, and you can also change the color of the text. You can as well, just like a normal text box, be able to do all normal formatting, highlighting, etc. in here. And if you did want to add a button or something like that, that's where you can go to ChatGPT and say, hi, I want ChatGPT, I want this text box to have a button saying this, pointing to that thing. Can you please give me the code? And then instead of just typing your text in here, that's where you can come to this source code and apply that if you want to. Something that I do just want to bring up with these modals is that Where they first came about is having the option to have 2 buttons on a page. And this is with the cart feature on these pricing card blocks. So pricing card blocks are the only one that this applies to. But pricing cards can have 2 buttons, which means they can also have 2 modal boxes because each call to action button has all of the options. And you may have a situation where you want to have a different modal for the first button than the second. Or maybe you want the modal on the first button and something different to happen on the second button, or vice versa. So only in the pricing card block, the rest of them just have 1 option and 1 action modal. This has actually got 2 modals. So on our call to action in this pricing block, we've got the call to action section. So in this case, we're showing the primary call to action, which is this first button, and we can style it accordingly. But this button action has got all of the same settings as every other button. So if you wanted to use this for add to cart, then you could make this an add to cart button, or it can open a modal. So the primary modal is different. So this is the call to action modal, not just the action modal. So this call to action modal here is going to open up. And you also have the option to show a secondary call to action and then choose what you want the action for that secondary call to action button to be. And again, we've got this open a modal as an option. And then we have a secondary call to action modal box, which is where you can come and add in your content here. So if you get stuck and you're using these pricing cards and you're like, where is my modal? It's not showing up. It's just saying add text here or something along those lines. It may be that you've put your text into this top modal, this call to action modal, instead of the secondary call to action modal, which appears a little bit further down. So it's a really cool feature. In the past, we've only had the option for 1 2-step opt-in. So someone clicks it and it has a form. We can't link these to forms. They are text boxes, but they're really helpful to have that extra thing where you don't want to send someone away from your page and you want the information to show up right there on the page. So if someone clicks onto view details, it gives them more information. I personally wouldn't have copy on here that goes too far below the box so that someone's got to scroll through it. I would try and keep it as what shows on the screen. But you can get as fancy as you like with it. You can use it for text. Like I said, you can use it to embed other things. And you can also use it for things like module information. If you don't want to have a really long sales page and you want to reduce some of the copy on the page, in the past, maybe you've had to create a separate page that's got module outlines as a way to reduce some of the content on the page. Now you could have just graphics or just a really simple summary and have a button that says learn more that pops up individual modules, individual modals for each module in your course. So you can give more action, more information that way. So there's lots of different ways that you can use it. You can attach it to an image, you can attach it to buttons. And even if you are using something like a Kajabi shop page and you're using a different, like a feature card like this one here, you could add some text or some kind of instruction to the image to say, click for more info, and then that can pop up that modal there as well. So you got options. I really think this is a great addition to what we can do with Kajabi, and I hope you enjoy using this feature. Sue from the Unicorn Advisory with another awesome Kajabi tutorial for you. I would really appreciate it if you like this video, if it was helpful for you, and I will do a happy dance. If you subscribe to my channel, it would really mean a lot, and I would appreciate it. You'll get notified when more awesome videos are released. See you next time. Bye.